rocking stones above Pontypridd, a mysterious place where over 100 years ago a healer of a different kind weaved his magic spell. His name was Dr. William Price of Llantrisant, a self-confessed druid.
There was an awful lot more to Dr. Price than the occasion when he cremated his dead infant son. Of course, it was at the time it was a great sort of event. It was a real sort of moment of heresy as far as the people of Llantrisant were concerned. It caused absolute outrage, and we all know the history of Price's cremation of Iesu Grist, the 4-month-old boy. And subsequently the court trial and what eventually became, of course, the passing of the Cremation Act in 1902. And everyone seems to think of Price, of course, as this great pioneer of cremation. But there was an awful lot more to Price than just that day on that mountaintop in 1884 when you saw this man in this great big white shroud of an outfit with his long hair blowing in the wind, setting fire to this little baby. His attire, of course, was always very bizarre. The half moon and the torch. He carried out all sorts of ceremonial work on the rocking stone in Pontypridd. He was a firm believer in the Druidic beliefs, and very much in touch with his inner self, I think. He had a great love of nature. He felt that there was no need for an awful lot of this kind of vaccination and pill popping that probably would have gone on at the time, and he really did look for more healthier remedies. Some of his ideas at that time were probably considered totally bizarre. He was very much an advocate of what we would probably call today things like reflexology and Reiki and that kind of thing, and herbal remedies as well for an awful lot of problems. When you look at them now in today's day and age, Price was saying all these things 150 years ago. He was very, very firm against smoking. He would never treat a smoker. He also was a great advocate of fresh air, long, good walks, good healthy eating, vegetarianism. He didn't like meat eaters.
Some of his remedies, however, would have raised an eyebrow or two.
Tale of a man suffering with terrible chest problems, and Price gave him a good sort of looking over, and he thought, I know what's wrong here, he said. I said, I want your wife to go and cook a joint of beef tonight. Leave it cooking all night long, and then in the morning I wanted to put it on your stomach and on your chest. Cut it in half, stomach and chest. So the doctor came back the next morning, he put this piece on his chest, put a piece on the stomach, and he said, out from his chest, he said, came this worm, who was obviously hungry because he could smell the roast. How bizarre is this man?
William Price wasn't born in Llantrisant, but in the village of Rudry near Caerphilly. But his name and reputation soon spread far and wide.
There certainly was an element of him that was well before his time. I think if we looked at him today, by today's standards, we look at him very, very differently. He was he poured an awful lot of scorn on orthodox beliefs. He had a great despisal of the law and the legal system. Of course, he was a great litigant. He was forever in court, playing to the gallery. But also he had some incredible beliefs that were well before his time. Let's be honest, cremation, for instance, you know, you can imagine the state we'd be in now. As far, even then, it was overfilled and unhealthy cemeteries at that time. You know, 100 years on, an awful lot of population growth. I think we'd be in the right state now if it wasn't for Price and pushing that very act forward himself. There's a lot to Price that I think people don't look at. It's overshadowed by those events in 1884 when he set fire to his baby, and there's a lot more to him than really meets the eye. I think he was a remarkable man in what was a very, very drab and miserable Victorian society. He brought a bit of sparkle and a bit of colour to Wales, I think.
Dr. William Price died on the 23rd of January 1893, at the age of 93. His mistress and housekeeper Llantrisant Llywelyn had tickets printed for the funeral.
The day must have been incredible. They say the pubs ran dry. He was on that pyre for 8 hours altogether, surrounded by thousands and thousands of people throughout the town. There were an awful lot of people there, I think, who okay, got involved with the kind of the hoil of it, but also maybe paid a bit of respect to Price for what he managed to achieve in his lifetime.